Everybody, it's Chris over at Dixieland Farm, and today I'm going to be doing another Commonplace collection of Steely Dan records. I am a casual fan of Steely Dan. They're good. They're very good, but the person who loves Steely Dan are the types of people who go out to a chain restaurant and ask, what rosés do you have? And I don't even know what a rosé is. It's like a pink wine, I think. Does that mean it's red? Or does that mean it's... I don't know. I don't drink wine. I don't drink at all, but I especially don't drink wine. Because wine is vinegar. You're drinking fancy vinegar. I'm not that type of guy. I am the type of guy to listen to NPR. So I got that knock against me. But, yeah, not a wine drinker. And that is who the Steely Dan crowd is. Sophisticated, liberal arts, maybe even a master's degree in a populated city area. And maybe the type to wear a chain. The type to wear jeans and a sports jacket. That's who likes Steely Dan. Steely Dan's first album, Can't Buy a Thrill. Donald Fagen barely sings on this. Some people are split on this album. I actually think it's their best album. Maybe because it's the least of what they become, which is beyond jazz rock. I mean, it's jazz rock. It's not like even a hybrid. It's something else. It's got Skunk Baxter on here, who's goes on to the Doobie Brothers. Denny Diaz is on here for a couple of albums, including this one. 1972. Do It Again, you know that song. You know Dirty Work, that's a good song. But Kings, Midnight Cruiser, Only a Fool Would Say That are great songs. Reelin' in the Years, I used to think, wow, that song's pretentious, but I love it now. Fire in the Hole, also good. Brooklyn's good. Change of the Guard, turn that heartbeat over again. Yeah, it's all right. Not only do I have this, I've also got the quad version. So that's cool that I can listen to pretension and 4 speakers, not just 2. Second album, I swear I have it. It's here somewhere, but I, for the life of me, cannot find it. I don't know why. I'm killing time here while I pull it up, and that's Countdown to Ecstasy. Countdown to Ecstasy.
But in fact, Chris had lost his mind. He never owned that record. Never once.
Steely Dan is known for being an audiophile type band. They record very dry, so you can hear every instrument. And this digital version I have here is of a SHIM CD, SHM, Super High Material or something like that. It's basically Gorilla Glass on a CD. So I was like, why do people buy these things? So I ended up on a message board, and they were talking about SHIM CDs. And someone said there is no difference because it's digital recording. I've got the original CD, and I've got the SHIM CD. I've done an exact audio copy of this. The checksums, the mathematical formula to look at a data integrity, says these files are exactly the same. I can see from the rip, these 2 CDs are exactly the same. Then somebody came out of the woodwork, said, I've read all of this stuff on here. You people are crazy. Every extra thing you do makes the sound better. And if you can't hear that, you people don't have good ears. You don't know what you're talking about. The guy proved that the 2 copies mathematically are exactly the same. And yet, here comes this this dude just going against science, which I'm sure you find that hard to believe that somebody just doesn't just flat out reject science. Countdown to Ecstasy is a good rockin' record. So this is definitely rock, not so much jazz. The first song, Buena Vista, I'm sure I know I'm saying it wrong. I think there's an extra syllable in there. When you first hear it, you're like, oh, that's actually just jazz. That's just straight up jazz. But then the rest of the record is not. It's more rock, though the jazz influences are there, right? Jazz influences, not jazz. It's got the F word in it. Everyone loves that. On to the, I think, next record, which is Katie Lied. Or is it, no. So the next record is Pretzel Logic. I actually have never listened to this record because it's got Ricky Don't Lose That Number. And anybody in my age bracket remembers the movie Say Anything. And the dad listened to that song and he was singing it in the car and he was just rocking out to it. And it was like proof that he was old and out of touch. And I don't want to be old and out of touch, so I just never listened to the record. And I got it for $1. $1. No, you can't get records for $1 anymore. So everyone says this is actually their best record. It's sonically, it's great. It's got all the things that make Steely Dan, which is cryptic lyrics that you have to listen to over and over again, weird subject matter. Oh, by the way, the name of the band, Steely Dan, is in reference to a barital aid from Naked Lunch. So that's their sense of humor, taking an obscure beat writer dirty joke and just running with it for the whole thing. So unfortunately, I can't give you a review. You're not even here for a review. You're just here to see what these records are. Here's Katie Lied. Katie Lied. I love this. There's an actual apology on here. So they use DBX, which is like Dolby. It's a sophisticated way of making noise reduction on tape. But the machine like broke, so it broke. So all their painstaking work of having this beautiful sounding record. And so they just had to like wing it, and they hate this record because of it. But it sounds fine to them. They can't hear it. They're that guy who said if you can't hear it, the shim guy I just talked about. Black Friday about stockbrokers jumping off buildings due to bad numbers. Yeah. Dr. Wu. Everyone goes to the movies. That song is about showing adult movies to underage kids. That's the kind of weird subject matter they talk about in New York in the 70s. Sleazebags. A lot of the characters are just sleazy drunks or pimps but you don't notice that at first. Everything just sounds nice, when you're listening to it. Everyone goes to the movies. Steely Dan says this is maybe the worst cover of the 70s. At first I'm like, oh no, the cover's cool, but now I'm thinking, no, they're right. This is actually a horrible cover. It was actually meant for a different band too, but I've forgotten. Bought it for $5. I don't like this record at all. They don't like performing anymore, so they just want to become a studio band, and then the other members of the band are like, no, we want to be a studio, like a real rock band. So they kind of break off, and half of them form the Doobie Brothers, and half Jeff Porcaro, goes into Toto. So there's, and of course, there's Michael McDonald. So they get session musicians. They get a guitarist who, Larry Carlton, jazz guitarist, and a couple of. This is like a guitar kind of album, and it's just not what they do, and I don't know what the lyrics are about, and that matters. I could read it, but I'm not going through that trouble. So I've listened to the album a couple of times, and I just don't get it. And not only that, people say, oh, their favorite Steely Dan album is Royal Scam. And then you start going into the material that 250, Asia, like the country, Asia. Well, not the country, the continent, Asia. That's how it's pronounced. Not Aja, Asia. Limited amount of songs. There's a classic albums video about how they made this album, and painstaking process of making this album. Like Kubrick. but for records, and that removes the soul of the music. They actually kind of make these jazz-like liner notes, scholarly, that are kind of taking the piss out of doing that. But like, if you wouldn't know that, then the joke's lost on you, and they don't care. That's the other thing. They don't care whether you get the joke or not. They're in it for them. So at this point, I mean, really, it's just Fagen and Becker is Steely Dan, as we know. And really, if you want to be honest, Donald Fagen is Steely Dan. Not discounting what Walter Becker did in his playing, but they used studio musicians, and he's the sound of it, and yeah. So there's Asia, and then the last of their classic run is Gaucho. Hey 19, you know that song, and it's at this point they don't even want to be a rock band. This is jazz, soft rock sounding, but it's just jazz within the being trying to forced into a rock format. And this isn't yacht rock. I mean, this stuff doesn't qualify yacht rock. There's nothing fun about it. So that's part of it. Yeah, so like lyrics to try to help you decipher what the hell they're talking about. This was bought for a whopping $2.50. And then Donald Fagen's The Night Fly. This is recorded digitally, the whole thing. 1982, so again going with their audiophile love of sound. So the nice Warner Brothers label there. This is, as far as I'm concerned, also a Steely Dan record, because like I said, Donald Fagen is Steely Dan, so this sounds like a Steely Dan record. IGY, if you heard it, you'd be like, oh, I've heard that in an auto parts store in the background. Yeah, that sounds like soft rock. Looks like he's got a Riverside record. So, again with the jazz stuff. Yeah, plus I don't know who's on the cover. Do we even see it? Yeah. Down there. I'm guessing Sonny Rollins. Just a guess. I don't know. I've rambled enough about my Steely Dan collection. So, in summary, they're not yacht rock. They're not fusion. They're jazz plus rock. Not jazz rock. They're jazz plus rock. Lyrics are hard to figure out, but when you do, you realize, hey, they're about really dark subjects. There's always a sense of humor in the lyrics, and it's hard to find just because they don't care whether you get the joke or not. And I swear that I do have that record somewhere. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy for watching this. Take care, everybody.